Hi, it's Faye here of Unravel and Unwind. I've got a different type of project that I'm going to do on video today for a university student in London called Sam Whitethread. And what she's doing is she's been composing a project known as Granny Square. And what she's doing is investigating use and functionality of the craft crochet. So she's looking at like-minded people with the crochet skill, and she's asking us to make granny squares. It could be any kind of granny square. We have the traditional granny square, or we could make another motif of our own choice. And the idea is that we have to talk for the duration of making the granny square. It's a quite difficult concept, just being told that you have to continuously talk. I imagine that will be quite difficult. She sent a pack out to us with the instructions and some of the work that she's already compiled. So we've got this little instruction manual that comes with it, and she's looking at exploring the difference between functional and functionless. Looking to identify patterns within our own creative psyche that act autonomously. Now, if you're a crocheter, you'll know that with the granny square, it is kind of autonomous. It's something that's in our brain. We kind of remember it, our bodies remember it, our hands remember it. A fine example of that was I learnt to crochet from my grandmother, Joan, and I learnt when I was about 8-9 years old, and I learnt to crochet several different types of crochet, and I learnt to knit as well. And she made a point of teaching me to read patterns at that age, and I only did it for a couple of years. Kind of lost interest around about secondary school age, went off and did my own thing, and I didn't actually start crocheting again until 5 years ago. So it's a good 30-year gap between initially learning and then starting again. And I asked her if she would teach me to crochet, and her response was a ball of yarn, a set of crochet hooks, and a how-to booklet, and told me to go away and read the book because I already know how to do it. And I didn't understand that concept. I was like, what's she talking about? I already know how to do it. No, I don't. I did it over 30 years. How can I remember how to do it? And she was right, because as soon as I started following the instructions in the booklet, my body remembered how to crochet. All I'd forgotten was the terminology, etc. But my body remembered how to crochet. It's muscle memory. So I imagine that Sam's looking at that idea as well. What else is she looking at? So it's also a slow form of visual learning, and I think she's exploring the language of learning. So it's going to be quite an interesting project. So our instructions simply are a quiet place, yarns of our choice, hook of our choice, and the ability to record audio, hence the video that I'm doing today, because I will be sending this video via email over to Sam while my granny square is in the envelope and being posted. So my task, she requires us to create a stream of consciousness by speaking out loud to ourselves, the recorder, thin air and nothing. We mustn't stop making any kind of noise throughout the entire duration. So this includes singing, ers, ums, swearing, whatever it is. We can make any kind of granny square. There's no rule on colour, but it must be able to fit into the stamped addressed envelope provided. And the topic of discussion and question which you should consider is, what does it mean to be functional? What does it mean to be functional? So I've been pondering that idea over and over and over, and I've been putting this project off for a while because I don't understand. I don't know, on a conscious level, the immediate level of what does it mean to be functional. It's something I'm struggling to put into words. I know when I'm not being functional, I get very depressed and low. I suffer with CFSME and fibromyalgia. So I know what it is to be functionless. So it'll be interesting. Anyway, moving on. I've chosen, I've got the Granny Square collection book that was compiled by Simply Crochet. So I figured I would choose one of the Granny Squares from there, and I've decided to go for the one called Granny Joan, which I presume was submitted by a crocheter known as Joan, but I've chosen Joan as that's my grandmother's name, and my grandmother was my tutor when I was growing up, and she's been my biggest cheerleader and biggest advocate since I took up crocheting again 5 years ago. She is still with us, so I think this will be a lovely living embodiment and gift to give back to her. She follows my crochet journey really closely and tells me that her student has surpassed her teacher's abilities, which I think is a great compliment. So I'm going to be doing Granny Joan. I've never made it before, so I've got the pattern open on my computer next to me. So I'll probably be reading and reading out loud whilst pondering what does it mean to be functional. So I'm just going to get started. Oh, I've also decided to use the Women's Institute yarn because in my head I'm getting towards the age now of what I think stereotypically the Women's Institute is, because I'm a young grandmother. My partner has grandchildren, so I know what it is to be a granny now. But I chose the Women's Institute yarn, one because I've got 7 colours and the pattern asks for 7 colours, but because it's the Women's Institute, and in my head I envisage women over a certain age, usually around 60, 65, as being members of the Women's Institute. So please don't take offence if you are younger than that and a member of the Women's Institute. It's just my own idea of that age group, you know, because my grandmother had been part of the Women's Institute. Another gran of mine, also called Joan, has also had a long standing with the Women's Institute, but they are in their 90s now, so don't take offence. So Women's Institute yarn for a granny square called Granny Joan. I'm going to get started. This is very strange, just keep talking. So I've got 7 colours and they're labelled A, B, C, D, E, F, I think. Or is it G? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm missing a colour. I need another colour. I knew I'd forget something. Right, let's get the 7th colour. Okay. And put them back in. I've got them laid out in order as well, so that, or in the order that I want to use them, so that I don't get too sidetracked. So starting with my slip knot on my hook, I'm going to, right, first of all I need to make a ring. Oh good, they want a big ring. 6 chain, 2, 4, 5, 6 and slip stitch. I like using that method. I'm not keen on the magic ring, which you can use to close up the hole entirely. It's not my favourite. We're making half trebles, so 15 half trebles. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm definitely not used to continuing to talk because I kind of end up concentrating in silence. So I'll do my best. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another 10. 6, 7. Oh, sorry about that. It would appear that my SD card was full, so I've just had to go and clear it all out and start again. Right, I'm going to put this green to one side. I don't need that one now, so that's out of my way. We're working on the next one. So I'm going to pick up where we left off. I'm making half trebles. I've now got to find myself back into... right, so I need to... I've done that, so I need to make another chain. This is difficult, trying to follow the pattern and talk all at the same time. Okay. And then we're going to keep going around. So what does it mean to be functional? Well, I'm a parent, so being functional is something you have to be on the ball with all the time, I guess. We have to well, when you've got children, you need to be functional, but when you live with CFSME as well, it's really hard to be functional and be a do all the things that a parent needs and deal with the extreme fatigue and the pain that comes with it. Crochet's actually led me back into a more functional state. You end up feeling quite depressed when you find that you can't function for your children, and you have all these ideas of what you should be doing and how you should be able to do it. When you're having a really bad time of it, where the body just does not want to be functional, it does bring about some really bad thoughts. You think yourself not worthy, you think that you're actually doing your kids harm by not being functional. It's taken a lot of years to find a space in my brain to be able to go, do you know what, it's okay, this is what it is, this is the illness, you've got to learn to deal with it. And in actual fact, it's the crochet that has been able to ward off all those thoughts, all those bad thoughts that came with it. And in actual fact, having the crochet and being able to make things that are functional, some things aren't functional, like what's not functional, hanging flowers, hanging flower motifs. It's not really functional, but then I guess it could be functional. It's pretty to look at, having a set of flowers hanging. So yeah, I mean, when you look at something first off, and you do wonder whether it is functional, but over time it does prove its functionality. I mean, mandalas are lovely, they're pretty. Are they functional? Well, it depends how you use them, I guess. I mean, one of the projects I've been working on is making mandalas so that I can join them all together and make a piece of clothing. So even a mandala is functional. Again, if you hang them on the wall, they look really good as wall hangings. Okay, what do I need to do on round 3? I've joined my yarn, chained one, right. I'm using English terms today as well, so I like English. I can speak both English and American in crochet, and I've been learning to read the charts as well. They're quite good, less wordy. There's a lot of stitches going into this chain space. There we go. So we yeah, so I guess I'm a bilingual crocheter. Oh, that's my corner. That's why there's so much in one space. WI. So that's the corner just finished. That was quite handy. Okay. As the video stopped just now, I was trying to tell you that this WI yarn does like to split a bit. Okay, so I've made a corner. I'm going to move on to, I'm making the sides now. Okay, so I'm reading the pattern. I don't want to read it all out loud because, you know, it's... oh, hang on. No, I've put my corner in the wrong place. That was daft, wasn't it? So I'm going to rip all that out. Good start. Hopefully we'll be able to record this now with no more hiccups. I'll just have to put all 3 of the videos together as in one, so like splice them all together. Okay, right, so I needed to be working in my chain 1s. Right, there's a chain 1. Let's hope we can get this right now. So I'm going to go back to it. Okay, where are we? I don't like talking out loud all the time. It's very off-putting. So Sam, this is a really big challenge for me. I can talk a lot, but when I'm told that I have to talk, I kind of clam up. So it is kind of strange that you're asking us to speak continuously or make a noise continuously for the whole duration of making a granny square. You do realise this could be a really long video, but I'm hoping that you'll give me permission to be able to upload it to my YouTube channel. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing it like this, is so that we can use it on the Unravel and Unwind YouTube channel, because I actually do this as a business now, and the whole idea of the business, it's called Unravel and Unwind, which speaks for itself really. Where am I? DC, 2 half trebles, DC, right. Yeah, back in 2014 I set up a business for like-minded creatives to be able to get together and craft creatively, and help reduce the isolation, because I find that a lot of home crafters are doing it at home without the interaction with others. So I made it a bit more functional. I just need to read that 3 more times. Okay, hang on. Just following the pattern and trying to talk at the same time. It's not easy. Right, so I've done that. Slip stitch there. Go back to the star, and we're going to make another corner. Gosh, I'm going to be all over the place talking to you about this. Yeah, I got really lonely and isolated because I was staying home and crocheting for like 6 hours a day, and got too comfortable. This was when I was in my recovery time, and I got too comfortable with not leaving the house and not seeing anybody, which is not good for anyone. You feel like it's good at the time, but when you start going out and being around other people again, you realise how limiting it is, and you realise how low and depressed you got. So what I wanted to do was have a studio space that I could share with other people. So I've got my studio space here at home for when I want to be on my own, which is not very often because I still crochet downstairs in the living room as well. But I've got a space where other people can come and share with me, and that's working really well. It's called Unravel and Unwind, and as part of that we've started doing tutorial videos in all sorts of different things. We interact on our Facebook page, we host meetups, and we host classes and workshops. So all these skills that we've learned, we're then passing on. So yeah, crochet has really become functional for me because I've been able to meet other people. I've helped to keep my mental health at a really decent level, where I'm not too depressed. There are days when it really gets a bit much, and there are days when it gets so much that it knocks me for 6 and I can't function again for a few days. But it's like that for everybody. We all suffer in that way to some extent. So we do it together, bring like-minded people together, and we've noticed that by having a craft where you're looking down between your 2 hands, you're not having to make eye contact, you find that you can be a bit more open with people, and you find that you quite often that your conversation does end up steering towards talking about your health, mental health, and your illnesses, and it's kind of cathartic in that it's a good way for healing. Well, I think it's a good way for healing. Some people don't seem to see it that way, but I like it. So yeah, I find that using crochet I can unravel and unwind and find my way back to being functional again, I guess. Okay, now this is really clever. See, this is why patterns. This one hasn't told me to slip stitch to join. It's a good job I understand patterns, isn't it? Okay, so let's just slip stitch, join and then fasten off, because we don't need this colour again. I'm also a proofreader, so I do a lot of I do a lot of pattern testing as well for some designers, where I proofread their patterns. That's looking really pretty. I'm really liking that. Okay, that's my third colour. Right, colour 4. Oh, we're going very grey this time. Right, where's my end? I haven't opened this ball yet. There's an end. There we go. Ah! Labels coming off. I don't like taking them from the outside, but it just seems easier for this project. So join yarn D into the final slip stitch of round 3. Right. Okay, I like it when they give you specific instructions. Alright, where's that final slip stitch? There it is. So, the only problem with working it this way, front facing all the time, is probably find that we'd need to block it at the end. But I'm finding my way to teaching while I'm doing this. I suppose that's one way to keep me talking, I guess. Okay, chain 2, same as a half treble, and it counts as well. Okay, now chain 4 on top of. Why didn't they just say chain 6? 4. Right, half treble, chain 1 in the corner space. There we go. And oh gosh, see, look, I keep going quiet. It's really hard. 1, 2, 3, 4. Half treble, inserting hook into same space as slip stitch in round 3. Oh, I see. So we're going down there. Oh, I like that. So we're going over it. Right, okay, so I've done that. Now we're chaining 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Twice. Oh, let me just scroll up to look at the picture. No, wrong way. Hang on. You'll have to bear with me. Look. I need to zoom that in again. Oh, that's what you mean by twice. Okay. See, having the picture there helps as well, doesn't it? I'm glad it's not just written instructions, because I'd have ended up trying to do that spike stitch in the same one. I've got to go over to the next one. Right, and into that one. Oh, and I need to... See, I went quiet again. This is really hard. Okay. Hard, hard, hard. Right. Okay. So I need to do another chain 4 to reach the corner. And now I get to do my corner. Corner's easy. Corner's really easy. Right. Crochet itself is really easy. To me anyway. I'm at home today during the day, so I'll be doing a lot of, well, I'm doing this video. I'll be doing some video editing later because I've got an online class as well that I'm leading, and then I'm teaching again this evening down at Unravel and Unwind. So I've got a couple of newbies who have come along with their own projects to work on. So we've been teaching them how to translate the American pattern that they're following into English, and converting it from blog post into workable pattern, because you know some new blog posts are really good. Blog post tutorials are great, but only if you've got some kind of crocheting background to start with. It's just that the way that the written tutorials, the way the tutorials are written, can be confusing for somebody who's coming to crochet for the first time. So what we've been doing over the last couple of weeks is just pulling out the information. It's a bit like a maths exam, you know, when you've got this like massive paragraph of information for a maths question, and you're like, I don't know which bit of information I need to be working from. So part of the teaching that I've been doing with that is teaching them how to pull out the information that they need to go on. Oh no, I didn't need to do that, did I? Hang on. Did I need to do that? I'm excuse me, I got lost in my pattern, so I'm having to look again. So reading the pattern and trying to make a noise all at the same time is not is not easy. Slip stitch to, oh no, so right, I need to slip stitch. I need to undo that half treble because I didn't need that half treble there, because I forgot that the beginning of the round the stitches were counted 1, 2, 3, 4. There's chain 2. I like to work backwards to find out where I need to slip stitch. I do like to use my fingers as well. There we go. Okay, right. Faye, read the pattern. Read the pattern. And then fasten off because we don't need that colour now. All these ends. This is going to be fun. Right, let's put that to one side because I don't need that one now either. Right. That's that one fastened off. What do you think? Wow, it's really, that really is a contrasting colour. Can you see that? Ha ha. Right, okay. So that's 4 colours, 4 rounds. Right, we're on round 5. We're nearly there, Sam. I don't know how long I've been doing this. Gosh, I feel sorry for you because you're then going to be transcribing it, aren't you? I know you are. You're going to transcribe it and pick out some of the words. So, right. I can't wait to send this to you actually. It's really pretty and quite shiny. Be interesting to know what you're going to be doing with you. So hang on one second. I'm going to pause. How do I pause? No. Sorry about the rude interruption there. That was my daughter ringing me. All is okay. So I'm going to carry on now. Right, so I'm looking at it, round 5 now. Oh, down to the final 3. So, okay. Join Yarny in the final slip stitch of round 4. Do you mean where I joined? No, I don't think you mean where I joined. I think, yeah, you must be, because that's the only, yeah, it must be where I joined, because that's the only slip stitch I made in round 4. Okay. So join. I'm hoping this is going to look really bright and colourful. Right, so I've joined. Then what do you want me to do? Chain 1 counts as our first stitch. Chain 2. Treble in the chain for space. Aha, that we can do because that's nice and big. And then we're going to do that. Then we're going to put a stitch in the half treble. Oh my gosh, this really is hard to just keep talking. So, blah, 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 2 of those. And, right, we're doing trebles in the corner space now. Treble, chain 1, treble. Okay. Oh, hang on. Take the corner out. I wasn't concentrating again. This is the hardest challenge I've ever done. Right. Okay. 1, 2. Then the corner. There we go. Back on track, and then chain 2. It's because I'm skipping over the information. That's what it is. Okay. Right, we're back on track. Oh, this orange next to that grey is really bold. Okay. I got lost again. Chain there, and aha, in there, and what do I do after that treble there? 2 chain, then repeat that 3 more times. Okay, so what am I doing? Go back over. What? Treble. What one? Ah! That bit 3 more times. There. So that I work along the side. Then there. I'm getting the hang of this now. It's because I chose to do a square that I hadn't done before, and I didn't practice it before either. I just jumped straight in and did it. That's my way of doing things. I tend to jump straight in at the deep end, and then worry about the consequences afterwards. So now if I'd have done this as a practice before getting started, you'd have noticed more of the autonomy. And saying that, I am being a bit autonomous because I know the stitches off by heart, so it's just whether I'm reading the pattern properly. Do you find that you don't read the pattern? I do. I'm always reminding myself to read the pattern. Don't just assume that you know what you're doing. It's one of the things I'm forever telling my students. Don't just assume. And then I go and do it myself anyway, where I forget to read the pattern. To be fair, these are quite easy squares, so it's not too sad. I haven't managed to pass this skill on to my children yet. My eldest, she can do trebles and chains, but she chooses not to. She likes dressmaking. She likes polymer sculpting. She makes costumes for her and her friends for their live action role playing weekends. Very, very talented young lady. She took to crochet like a duck to water, but for her it was a bit too boring. She didn't find it instant enough. She didn't get the same gratification that I get when I'm crocheting. It's hard to explain. Crochet gives me a sense of peace and tranquility and all sorts. Slip stitch to the chain 1, which is there. I mean, to be fair, if I was just doing a regular granny square, I'd have been lost in meditation by now, and I'd be re-recording this because I wouldn't have been talking. I'd have just gone into my own little world. Okay. There we go. That looks a bit odd there. That join looks odd, but I'm going to leave it in because, you know, we're not perfect. And I don't think it's detrimental to the pattern. Might be. But who knows? Who knows? I like the Amish way of keeping your mistakes in. The Amish believe that humans cannot be perfect, only God is perfect. So any type of Amish furniture, which is gorgeous, shaker furniture, they keep their mistakes in as a reminder that we are only human. Okay, so I've fastened off there. Join F in the top of the next treble. So this is colour F. And I do like that concept that we are only human. We're not perfect. I think it's a lovely concept. And what we do, so as long as it's not detrimental to a pattern, I will hang on, I just need to read this. DC into next treble and chain 3 all the way around, but we did double crochets in the half trebles, so are we jumping those? Hang on, I think we might be jumping them. I'm just having another look at the picture because it's not making sense. Yeah, we're missing. That has a lot more trebles. Do you know, I've got a funny feeling I might, oh no, hang on. I think I might have messed up the previous round entirely. Okay, alright, sorry about that. I know you told me to keep talking, but I needed to read. Right, okay, I've got it now. So a DC, chain 3, all the way around. And I've completely lost what I was talking about, so we'll just move on to something else now. Yeah, I don't know. So I'm just going around and sticking a stitch in the top of each of the trebles. And we're nearly on we're on the home stretch. Got one more round to do after this one. So I hope you like it. And then we've got all the ends to sew in. I don't know if you want me to continue talking while I sew the ends in, but I don't think I will. I think I'll just concentrate on getting it all uploaded to the computer and then getting it sent over. It's been a real challenge to have to keep talking, which is kind of, oh, it's hard work. One of my friends and acquaintances at Unravel and Unwind has also had a go at this project, and she really can talk. And she was saying how, you know, for the most part she can talk all the time without a let up, but she, like me, she found this a challenge. I've still been pondering the idea of what does it mean to be functional. I'm not sure what concept, I don't know, you know, the context that you're looking for. So it'd be interesting to see how the project evolves and see what other people say. I mean, I am an intelligent person, but I don't think too deeply. My youngest would, she'd go through the whole psychological breakdown and evaluation of what it means to be functional. But it has been really odd, just continuously talking. So it'd be interesting to see what the viewers on YouTube will think, if we get your permission to upload it there. Be interesting to see what the community say. Slip stitch the beginning chain 1. Okay. It'll be I'll probably end up with like torrents of abuse of you don't make sense, or why are we even bothering to watch this, at which point I'll just tell people to just move along. You don't need to keep watching if you don't like it, just skip to the next video. Right, I'm on my last colour. It's quite a muted one for the last round. Oh, it does look pretty. I keep looking up to see what it looks like in the camera. Okay, last one, round 7 of Granny Joan. Granny Joan. Yeah, my Granny Joan, she's amazing. At one point during her crocheting in career, Granny Joan, my Granny Joan, was vice chairman of the Knitting and Crochet Guild in the early 90s, and was also took part in the world record breakers of making the world's largest blanket. They filled a massive aircraft hangar at an airport in Yorkshire. Right, join Yarn G to any double crochet. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to put it in there. So I have joined the Knitting and Crochet Guild. I don't know whether or not I'll ever get to the point of any of the particular positions. I don't know that that interests me very much. Right, chain 1 does not count as a stitch. Double crochet into each chain and DC. And then 2DC, chain 1, 2DC in the corner. Right, so I'm at the corner. So I need to, I've already done that. So I need to DC in there. Right, and in my corners, 2, 1, 2, 1, and 2 there. Right, okay. And 1 in there. So now we're getting on to just saying the numbers. What do I want in all the chains? DC into each chain. We did 3 chains, didn't we? So I'm not going into the chain. Am I going to go into the chain? Oh, you're going to make that really difficult, aren't you? Yeah, she did. Yeah, we've got to go into the chain. I don't like... Look, if I'd have made my chains looser, it would have been easier. So this might take some time. Normally, I would just go round the chain. But the pattern says to go into the chain. I have to use my fingernails to put my strands around my hook. So, it could take a little while. There we go. Ah, come on. Oh, splitting threads. Ah. This is the bit I don't like. Right, okay. To be fair, it does look pretty going into the chain. It means you're seeing the colour of the previous round. It's just fiddly. Fiddly, fiddly. See, I've been practicing really hard with video. My kids tell me I say and too much, and okay and so. So when I've been making videos, I've been desperately trying not to say them. I have managed to get the editing down so that I can skip them out. But I'll apologise now if you've got lots of ers and ums and so's. It's kind of off-putting. Kind of detracts from what you're doing. So I hope you've been enjoying this. I hope it's inspiring you to do more crochet. If you're a first timer watching or listening, I hope that this pretty square is inspiring you. Alright, seeing me struggle on this last round is not going to inspire you, because, see, I said I don't like hooking into the chain. If I'd have known I was going to hook into the chain ahead of time, I'd have made the chains of the previous round larger. And I keep pulling my hook out of the stitch when I'm drawing that loop up. So it's, you're seeing me struggle. At least you know that even somebody who's an advanced crocheter can still struggle. Come on. Get through. There, gotcha. 4 goes to do that one chain. Oh dear. Right. So yeah, even advanced crocheters can get a little bit lost, especially if we're not concentrating, which having to concentrate on talking for the duration of making this for the Granny Square project has meant there are times where I can't concentrate like I would normally. So I've found my brain wandering a lot more, and actually find it really difficult to pull out the information where I'm having to talk for the recording the entire time. It's actually been really difficult to pull out the information in the pattern and to remember what it is I'm supposed to be doing as I work around. Definitely a really difficult challenge, so thank you, Sam, for that. It makes you realise that just sometimes your brain can't function on trying to do more than one thing at a time, or more than 2, should I say. It's more than 2 because I'm having to read the pattern, work the pattern and talk all at the same time, and to know what to talk about. That's been really challenging, and it's made me appreciate it a bit more, I guess. Appreciate the brain more, and to know that we do have limitations. Excuse me for sniffing. I mean, I do know I have limitations. That's a given when you're somebody who's suffering from a chronic illness. We do have limitations, but this exercise has made me realise more how limiting the function is in my brain. I've always known that I struggled to do more than 2 things at once. My mother used to try, she tells everybody, she still does, tells people that I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. But if you've got to walk, chew gum and talk, then something goes wrong, and I just can't do it. So I know that trying to do 3 things at once is a real challenge for me. I didn't realise how much of a challenge until now. So I guess that helps us to understand the limits of functionality within our own selves. Definitely. But over the past few years, the one thing I have learned is we all need to feel functional. We all need to be able to function in some way or form. And having a craft, for me crochet in particular, but to have crafts, when you finish something and you look at it, it gives you a real sense of self-worth, especially if you're a beginner and you kind of go, oh my gosh, I did that, and it does give you that reason and need of self-worth that you may not have had previously. Oh my gosh, I think I've been doing this for over an hour. Maybe a traditional granny square would have been a better idea. What do you reckon? Perhaps I should have done. But you did say in the list, in the booklet, we could choose any granny square we liked. Any square. Oh look, my next chain stitch is really tight. I'm losing the will to live now. I can hear somebody's alarm going off. I don't know if you'll have all the background noise that I've got here. I don't know if you'll hear all that. Do you know what? Oh, that's too tiny. I'm going to have to go around it. See, I did warn you that my chain stitches are a bit... see, this is why I like going round the chains, because when you go round them, it's faster. Much faster. And it must be really boring by now. Well done if you've managed to stay watching. There we go. Right. Oh my gosh. That one's looser, so that when I pulled up the yarn, my hook came out. Can you hear that alarm? It's really off-putting. I think it's coming from outside, and it's getting louder. Really odd. It's really nice weather out there today. It's lovely and sunny. I've got the window wide open. I've got my diffuser in the background. Oh, and the alarm stopped. It must have been a house alarm. It's usually pretty quiet in this village. But I like this room. It's the box room. It's supposed to be a bedroom, but it's a box room. It's at the front of the house, so I get to watch the world go by when I've got my corner desk in front of the window, so that's where I'm sitting, and I can watch the world go by, and I can see all the neighbours coming and going, and yeah, it's really nice. The lighting here is really good too. We've just had to build a new room downstairs, so we haven't got as much light downstairs, and although we use daylight bulbs in our ceiling lights, it can still be a bit dark. It gets a bit lonely up here though, you know, with the rest of the family downstairs, hence why I have the studio, so I can go along and not be lonely. I like the isolation, but at the same time I really like being around people. I think that's why I teach, or why I chose to teach. Not just to pass on the craft. I mean, who knows, we may find ourselves in an apocalyptic world at some point. So as long as I can crochet, I can make clothing and bedding, and you know, all the time we've got resources. So I'll do quite well in an apocalyptic world. I'm not a hunter-gatherer, but I can make things, and if I can pass that skill on to other people, then I know that other people will be able to clothe themselves and what have you in an apocalyptic world. We may find that we have to, who knows. See, look, now my brain's going off on a completely different tangent. it's a zombie invasion. And no, I don't think it would be zombies, but you know, it's a good skill to have. Oh, we're on the last corner. Home straight. Home straight. And we'll be done. And I'll have talked continuously for I don't know how long. The camera doesn't tell me how long I've been going. Oops. Hang on, I've got to go back because I didn't finish taking my thread through on the previous stitch. It's because this WI yarn splits. It's nice, it's shiny, it's smooth, but it's not a tight weave, so it does split. Oh, there we go. Right, nearly there. Nearly there. I do wish I'd done the chain bigger. But if I ever do this square again, I know. There we go. Granny Joan, you have served me well today. I'm still... can you tell I've really got to the stage where I don't know what I'm saying? You're lucky that I can talk this long. I'm going to be so exhausted later. I wonder if I'll have a trouble with words. One of the problems with the CFS for ME and fibro, the chronic pain, is you forget your words, or you get halfway through sentences and you just don't know what you're saying, or you forget what it was you were saying and you kind of go completely brain dead. You get so fatigued that you've got no idea what words are going to come out next, or whether you're even going to say the right words. So that's going to be a bit challenging if it decides to kick in when I'm teaching later. Thankfully my students know. I've always been upfront and told them, everybody knows that I have this problem, and that there are going to be times where I just don't know what words are going to come out, whether they'll be the right words or the wrong words, or be on the ball and get me back on track to what it was I was telling you. And so, and having had to concentrate this hard for I guess about an hour now, I expect, does make it really challenging. There we go. Oh, we're on the last stitch. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Last stitch, last stitch. Come on, in you go. Trying to find the strand around the back now. There it is. Oh, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. My fingers have decided to stop working as well now. Oh, I'm losing my function. I'm losing functionality. I didn't think that would happen. This is the last stitch. Come on, find the back loop. Where's the back loop? That's all I need to do is get that back loop on there. My fingers have stopped working. This hand has stopped working. I can feel it. It feels kind of numb in my knuckles. This is not a good sign. Come on. And through. Oh, come on. It's split. I could understand if I was rushing, but I'm not. I've actually crocheted really slow today. Right, where do you want me to slip stitch the first DC to join? And there we go. All done. I've got way too many ends to weave in before I send it to you. Okay, that's that one out of the way. There we go. Granny Joan, just for you, as part of the Granny Square project. All those ends. Look at that. I'm going to turn the recording off for that. I'm not going to do that. But thank you, Sam. That has been a really good challenge. I'm going to put it in the envelope to you with the feedback all finished off. Thank you. I hope you like it, and I'll be interested to see what parts of the information that you pull out from, what words you pull out from my recording. I'll speak to you soon. I hope you've enjoyed it. If Sam has allowed us to upload this to YouTube, I'll put a link in the description so that you can get in touch with her if you feel like that you want to have a go at the project. It is a really good challenge for someone, and I hope that Sam gets to some sort of conclusion as exploring the functionality, exploring autonomous learning, visual learning. I'd be really interested to see how the project evolves, and I'd love to see what she does with the granny squares at the end of it. So what I'll do is, if Sam's given us permission to get this uploaded, I'll stick a link in the description so that you can also get in touch and have a go for yourself. Thank you.